Final episode. Arcane. Bridging the Rift. Part 5. We gave it our best shot. Here we go. I will give you the world if you can prove you can take it. Have you seen Immortal Gates of Fire RTS? I've seen it. I've played it. Blah, blah, blah.
When Arcane goes out, we will get death threats. Doesn't matter if we win every award in the world, we will inevitably piss someone off who really loves whichever character is in Arcane, and they will want to murder us.
Well, if you didn't want to get death threats, then why did you make Arcane? You kind of brought it on yourself. Yeah.
I love it, but, you know.
Sarcasm. I don't agree with that.
I'm still anxious, right? We're 2 to 3 weeks to the launch, so maybe I'm completely fooling myself and it's gonna flop.
Let's have a look at that trailer for Riot Games' upcoming animated series.
So, it's like League of Legends Christmas right now?
Yeah.
Holy!
Oh, I'm reacting wrong.
If it's even like half as good as that trailer is.
Oftentimes the question is like, how do you make something good? How do you know it's good? What if you don't know these characters? What if you don't know anything about League of Legends? Would you still engage in this?
Hopefully we succeeded in the biggest thing, which was making League of Legends fans proud of their investment into the IP.
Their investment? Emotional investment.
Framed against this beautiful stained glass that was probably once like colorful and cheerful and happy, but now it's shattered and broken.
The fact that somebody can make an hour-long reaction video off of like the smallest teasers that we've made is impressive.
Let's have a closer look at this bit of animation because they're doing doubling. They're taking the character model and copying it, gun barrel here, gun barrel here, gun barrel here, which is a technique that's stolen directly from 2D animation.
We dissected it like every frame, like it was spot on most of the time.
Her jaw unclenches as she opens her lips.
I mean, I can't imagine how much of those are going to exist after we've released a whole season of Arcane, like what everybody's going to say and what everybody's going to do and think about it.
It's not just...
You know what? Seeing people break apart your methods and explaining them without you explaining it first, and then having them like react to it, make videos on it, this is how they did the technique, I think that's actually super satisfying. It means you are seen as an artist. You're seen for the work you did. I think that's super cool. I get the same feeling when I do higher level plays in Warcraft 3 or Dota 2. And people are like, yo, I just saw that small little subtle cool thing that you did. I saw that. Good job. Or and I'm like, wow, I have a very wise audience that can see, you know, some of the finer things. Because before I started streaming in general, I mostly lived Warcraft 3 learning in isolation. So I tried to talk to my girlfriend about it, but she's like a lower level player, of course. And it helped a lot. We talked a lot about the game. And I wrote notes. Occasionally I'll talk to other players, but mostly everything was in isolation. So, and I don't talk to my opponents about it because they're my opponents, right? So when you eventually get to share that experience and people are like, oh my God, did you just attack your own item to break your windwalk so that you could re-windwalk again earlier and it wouldn't break in front of him? You know, if someone sees something like that, or, oh, you just popped out your unit with the surround. And it's like, that's really cool. You connect with people about something deep that requires investment to understand it.
Just a story or a project that goes out, and if you don't like it, c'est la vie. It's like, no, it has to be good because it's this thing that our audience cares about so much, that we care about so much. So it's, you know, it's not easy to make decisions when you have that in the back of your head.
It's gonna be pretty good eventually, Dula, Pipa. Little break.
just kind of is what it is.
I'm trying to save you from annihilation.
Good. Next.
I'm surprised what you can pull off when your life depends on it. Ends on it.
Because on it feels like it ends early.
Yeah.
I have never worked on animation
early?
before this project.
I'm surprised what you can pull off when your life depends on it. Ends on it.
Because on it feels like it ends early.
Yeah.
I have never worked on animation before this project, which I actually always thought was a detriment, but I was recently told that that was actually something they were looking for, so I was like, oh, good.
I get that sometimes. Sometimes I get sponsorship deals for games, and they're like, we're looking for someone that has played this genre before. And sometimes instead it'll be, we're looking for someone that has never played this genre or this game in our franchise before. So yeah, sometimes you want, of course, sometimes you want someone that has a different look and doesn't follow the preconceived methods of that industry.
That's pretty pissed. That's a little too pissed. They put so much detail and so much thought into the animation, you really do want to match it, you know? Like, you want it to be just as detailed, just as nuanced, and sound as cool as it looks. So Andy is the sound effects mixer. So all the cool design, the weapons.
The sound is what I think really connects for a lot of people. Like, they may
Yes.
not realize it. Same thing with like music. Music is kind of like a
Yes.
universal language. There's something about that, you know, sonic thing that gets in your ear that really, I think, helps bring stuff to life. Like when I go see a scary movie, I cover my ears, man. I don't cover my eyes, right?
Smart, actually.
Support Councillor Tallis's proposal for peace.
What was that, 5?
Yeah.
Split the diff.
I forsake you.
Drop the gun!
The goal is clarity in the end. You know, it's supposed to be like not noticed in a way. You know, if it's noticed, maybe it's done, you know, it's done wrong because it's like scenes are believable when people believe that they're in them.
Sorry, my watch went off. Totally ruined your soundbite, dude.
Shit. Redo. We should have had shirts that said Sound Bros.
Arcane Sound Bros.
I'm with stupid.
Yeah. We make the noises.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To H150.
A giant empty room.
This whole room for just Brad and I.
Thanks, COVID.
You know, for just developing the soundscapes and kind of getting some temp mixes down. These rooms are perfect for that, and then we can go to the stage and kind of fine-tune things. It's very identical to Brad's. Exactly the same, actually, except for I have some plants. I'm a big plant guy, but obviously everything would die in this room, so
Yeah.
I had to find the best-looking fake plants.
I have that too, fake
Target.
plants.
Target's got some great fake plants. Oh, these are motion picture MPSC awards. These were for Blade Runner and a game, Resident Evil.
If you put like a little air purifier in your fake plant pot, then it's almost like a real plant.
And hopefully there'll be a third one there when you come back and film this for season 2 or something.
Sound design, when you're working in animation, you're working completely from scratch for everything.
And a lot of times it's easy to just kind of do the bare minimum of what's needed for the scene because that's just sort of the aesthetic. But for this, from day one, it was let's create a really, really authentic sounding production track.
Brad and I's job ultimately is to work on the relationship between dialogue, music, and effects to help sell a believable story.
I remember in our second episode, there was this council scene where Jace has to kind of answer for his unsanctioned research. And that scene just did not work for me in the animatics and everything. And I looked at this script page and I was like, no, these are the right words. Like, they're saying the right things. The animation looked great. I was like, what is the problem?
The materials were far more dangerous than I was aware of.
Sounds like how it was recorded
my actions
in
were against Academy regulations.
the VO booth.
What I did endangered people. It was reckless.
But to sell the sheer mass of this room, you know, you add reverb.
It was revolutionary.
Revolutionary how? All I see is a boy meddling with things he doesn't understand.
The second there was that like feeling of the words just expanding into this eerie space.
Yeah.
It felt like every
Of
word
course.
just mattered so much more, you know?
Of
And that was the
course.
first time that scene really worked for me.
Bee Gees, backgrounds. You know, backgrounds are, you know, what world is this character in? What's happening around them? What could be happening around them?
The conversation with backgrounds is sort of like our wallpaper, kind of like lays the foundation. And sometimes it's a combination of stuff that you've recorded in the field.
We try to go out almost at least once a week or on the weekends. I'm constantly recording. My parents have this kind of 4x5, but when I pitched down the recordings I did, I got this, the engine had this kind of repetitive, and I was like, that's basically the industrial Zon. You know, steam releases are cool little air compressor bursts pitched down.
And then the Foley is really...
Yeah, I often notice it when sounds are used in repeat because they're taken from some communal database. Of course, not everyone has the resources to make their own sounds and to go like tinker, try to find unique sounds that weren't used before. A lot of people just get from a database, and it always ends up taking you out of the immersion. There was this sound from a Dark Legions vampire from a 1998 strategy game. It's called Dark Legions, and you could have vampires and demons. There was this one sound that I heard in so many different movies. So many movies. And I thought it came from Dark Legions, but it probably predated it and was just in some massive database. One of the most common demon sound or beast sound or something. And it's like, it's hard to take a TV show seriously if you've heard it before somewhere else.
That next layer, right? Creating this whole...
So this is like much harder, much more expensive, but it prevents people being pulled out of the immersion.
Whole level of realism.
For animation, it's huge.
The Foley crew was our good buddies at One Step Up.
There's a really common kids laughing clip. Yeah. That one. I know exactly which one you mean. I think I know exactly which one you mean. It's like little girl laughing, little girls laughing. Of course, I cannot do it myself, but yeah, you'll know when you hear it.
O'Connell, John Cucci, totally crushed it. Each one of these tracks is, somebody watching this scene and doing all the feat for that one character, going back, doing the feat for that next character.
That sounds really good.
Props, which is kind of like, this is a prop when you set it on the table, and it has a sound. And then gear, which is like, Vi has a certain jacket on with a buckle, and that buckle makes a sound. You can kind of get a different feeling on each person. Brad and I come from a world of creating game assets and characters in game where Foley is a huge player in games. So, our viewpoint on Foley is like, we need it and play it loud.
Yeah, right.
Dan and John, and what they did is like, their stuff is always 90%.
That part, I'm not sure I agree with it. Okay, sure, it's good for comedy, but it doesn't really make sense. Imagine you get everything in Lord of the Rings with the Balrog. You hear it's screaming, it's huffing and puffing. Well, not screaming. You hear its low volume. You hear its low timbre growling, the Balrog, before Gandalf says, "This foe is beyond any of you. Fly, you fools!" And it's... And then it comes around and it's like as small as Heimerdinger. Like, come on. Oh, it was louder here than in the show just to show it. Oh, okay. It's higher volume. It's higher volume? Do you mean higher pitch?
And there, and it fits in, and it's great. But sometimes you need to embellish it.
The Foley on its own, it doesn't do what you need it to do, but like
Yeah.
just the sound effects by itself. And it doesn't have that realism and the texture that you need from like something that's real. So together,
there was a lot of organic recordings and thought that went into sounds that
Oh, they removed all the other sounds from the Heimerdinger walk-in. Okay, yeah.
came from the natural world.
ASMR.
Kind of pick up everything that sounds cool. Just keep it. Elk are just gonna start running into the building through the walls. But I
That
took
sounds
that
great.
and sampled it out. 50 cal bullet.
How about castanets?
Got a lot of weird shit.
For me,
This
the
is-
biggest
this is
thing was
great.
the magic, like the hex core, and this is like the beginning and the origin of magic of League of Legends. Like creating something that tonally sounded new and was the beginning, and it had to progress through the whole season.
You know, I took some time and recorded some wine glasses. So this is pitched up and then thrown through a tremolator. And then it's also thrown through a Doppler. And then Brad messing with a bunch of different synthesizers and like a chimey tonal thing with a choir.
Oh, that's how they made Bard. Bard's chime hunting in League of Legends. When we go full alien, please. Every kid wants to work with this when they grow up. Yeah. I'm thinking, hey, this would have been a pretty fun career too.
Kind of has both sounds intertwined into it.
Oh yeah.
and then like shimmer, like the whole shimmer thing.
The biggest player in the shimmer is actually, that's your voice.
Would that be hilarious if that's just how we talk?
Elliot! So just recording a ton of that stuff just kind of gave us this like weird palette of stuff to play with. You know, running it through an impulse response.
I can do it too.
Taking that and then adding like a liquid kind of bubbly component to it, but
Sorry, I just wanted to practice. This was the scariest moment of my life, Grubby. Please never do it again. All right, mute for a second. Make it higher pitch? Okay, I'm gonna try. It is kind of scary. I've never made that sound before. Interesting. I feel like we're reaching new heights.
The one thing about Brad and I is we work together well. Like
You know,
we create.
you know what has been a dream of mine for a long time? I wanted to do like some horror film because I can walk very strange too. I wanted to do like a horror film and be like one of those emaciated ghost boys where you move weird and uncannily freakily. And then you see like bones jutting out at wrong angles and stuff. And like you're going around and like you're contorting and whatnot. And then you're making like this sound. Can you imagine me with some makeup, of course, like crawling through a hallway and I'm like... It's like, I think it would work for horror films.
Building blocks.
By the way, he doesn't care at all. He's heard all this before.
As Riot likes to call it. taking those building blocks and building on top of that and building more.
Why makeup though? Okay, dude. Thanks. Don't need, huh?
More and more on top of that. And going 6 or 7 steps beyond your first step, all of a sudden you've got something really cool.
And then putting on your sound editor cap, it's like taking all that cool stuff that you made, putting it up against picture and making really hard decisions about what to keep, what to get rid of.
You still missing stuff on those swords hits? Or the sword?
I just wrote a little note.
When
Swipes?
she's carving through it?
Yeah.
No. Are you?
I might play. What do we got, 3:30?
We have half an hour.
Low buzzy
That's the initial
thrumming.
design, which you kind of lose because it just sits in the register of the music. Any sound designer can create amazing sounds, but to create clarity and to tell the story that the director is trying to put together, you have to be able to pivot a lot. So like these are kind of fireworks I recorded. Getting that sizzle on stuff. Nice little trick that I do is this is basically just a volume graph. But what I like to do sometimes, instead of tremulating the sound, I'll draw.
Might need to book more meetings with a therapist. Wouldn't it be so funny though? Like therapists are supposed to be non-judgmental, right? Because otherwise you could scare away the patient. Wouldn't it be funny if like the first time you sit down at a therapist and you're like, just to kind of mess with them. It's like, okay, I see what we're dealing with here.
Oh, I didn't like this, which I do a lot on creature vocals and stuff. Where it basically gives you this. You see how it kind of cuts through a little bit?
Yeah, that's really good.
It just blows me away. Like, they're like, hey, we need a sound for Savika's plasma blade, you know? And he's like, hold my beer.
Right now, I am at my parents' house in the north of Germany. This is one example of me thinking of the Arcane story. There were definitely moments of being pretty overwhelmed, for sure. I mean, speaking for myself, I'm the kind of person, I work actually well under stress, except for when you have so many stressful things that you feel like you lose oversight, if that makes sense. You know, animation over there, music over there, voice talent.
Take 75.
Profits have been plummeting.
I think what would be nice on, you know, profits have been plummeting to kind of to like have like those pop.
You don't know if the scripts for less episodes are working, and the planning for season 2, and there definitely are those moments where you just feels like it just is too much, you know. I think that's why the burnout rate for I think showrunners is like 100% in general.
Knowing that the show is going out in November, really I think it won't be real to me until it actually goes out into the world. And right now, the thing that keeps me up at night is trying to make sure that the next season doesn't disappoint. There's some other option, right? It's like die or, you know, like accept some things being imperfect, you know, or something like that. That's kind of like the other path, right? That would be the way that they could go back to humanity.
No, I think we need to find a big structure. We feel we can simplify it.
The big hope, I guess, with this trip to Fortiche is to lock down the final episodes of season 2. The end that I won't talk about very much is one that is complex.
What else do you want to remove?
You can remove also the...
There's one thing about the ending that is new. We're like, oh, that's sort of the same beat we had in 206. Okay, that was sort of the thing we were hinging this whole episode around, and now it's not there anymore, so let's just redo the whole thing.
206 being season 2, episode 6. So they already planned season 2, and now because they changed something in season 1, it ruined it. Oops.
This part, I think, is just a particularly hard part of stories. Getting from your middle to the, okay, on track, final run on the Death Star, you know, that kind of location.
It's so hard to wipe the slate clean on something.
I think I just need to step back. I need
Yeah.
to like try and figure this episode out without thinking about all the things that we've talked about.
I know. But we also don't want the baby to go out, Alex. We don't want to...
The baby out with the bathwater is where you accidentally throw out the bathwater with the baby. So you were just meant to clean the bath, and you threw out the baby by accident. This is undesirable result because now you are -1 baby. I did that once, and my wife never forgave me. Not with a baby, but she asked me to throw away this plant, which had died, and I threw away the plant, but I also threw away the plant pot that it was in, which was perfectly reusable. And this happened 10 years ago, but she still reminds me now and then. She'll be like, can you throw away this plant, but not the pot, because I'll put another plant in the pot. Remember when you... Yeah, I remember.
murder this baby with our bathwater.
Is that suggesting that we are filling it with more bathwater right now?
A lot of bathwater.
We're not dumping out the bathwater, we're adding bathwater.
Without
The baby
cleaning
is
it first?
steadily drowning.
What? Wait, this metaphor feels convoluted.
I'm circling the exact location of the problem, because when you say this is a little blurry or there is a bug here, sometimes it's difficult to just spot the right place and the right frame.
There is a problem here.
As you can see, we can't see the shard behind the glass.
Oh my god.
But the glass is transparent, so we have to see it. So.
Oh my god. He's like a police investigator, but instead of watching real images, he watches animated images and then investigates what's wrong. It's like one of those games. Check the differences, see what's wrong. There was a game like that, like Exit 8. It's like a horror game. You have to see the one thing that's different. And if you see something different, then you turn back. Otherwise, you get reset back to Exit 0. I would never want to have this job. I actually would like this. Now, some of you have seen me play Papers, Please, and Papers, Please is basically like that. But I actually like this kind of stuff. No way? I think I like it. I think I like it. I do think I like it. I enjoy doing in life repeating pattern stuffs. You don't like when Twitch chat does it? No, you mean when Twitch chat points out something wrong? If it is correct, then I generally have learned to appreciate it. It's just Twitch chat is wrong so often about what they're pointing out is wrong. That's what's annoying. Yeah, I'm also not a perfect product.
Tu peux remonter en arrière, s'il te plaît, j'ai l'impression d'avoir vu un bug. Non, juste au moment où, un petit peu avant, on va faire image par image.
Final director
Fortiche
review.
and Arnaud and Pascal, I really trust them.
Tu vois, ah, il y a un trait, hein. Il y a un trait. D'accord, ok. Non, je crois que c'est ça.
Their heart's in the right place, you know, like you just know that they're always gonna err on the side of quality and passion.
Son bras, il doit être allumé là, comme ça, avec le. Où il est.
Non, il est éteint.
Ah.
Il est éteint. Il est censé être éteint.
On peut toujours apporter quelque chose de plus. Et c'est ça qui est des fois un petit peu frustrant pour nous parce qu'on est assez perfectionniste, c'est de se dire bon allez là on lâche le clavier.
Des fois c'est un peu dur, ouais. Ouais.
It's the last shot of the last episode.
Do you think they made it a bit too good? Do people really notice it when the glass isn't showing behind? Will they notice how this rocket looks when it's spinning and rapidly firing? I feel like they overdone it a bit, the level. Imagine playing at like 350 APM in RTSs in 1998, and your opponents are all like 80 APM. Like, don't you just want to relax a bit? It's not necessary, bro. Like, chill out. 250 APM is fine, and you can still do something with the other hand. Who cares? They notice. That matters. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
You locked the picture?
It's not totally lock.
It's never lock.
Until it's on Netflix.
Yes.
Hey.
Which actually begs the question, does anyone have any power to change a small thing after it's on Netflix? Because they seem to suggest there is no space for edits anymore. Is it because it's too expensive? Is it because Netflix doesn't want to have multiple different versions? I wonder. I wonder why it isn't possible. Why isn't it possible, you stupid bastard? They do? Has that happened in the past, that someone has edited a bit while it's on Netflix? I wonder. It has been done before, but not often. For real? Raise the question. You keep using begs the question wrong. It raises the question. It raises the question. I agree that was correct here. Is it not begs the... What begs the question then? When it's begging, but not raising. Maybe begs the question is more of a... When you're looking to maybe have a contradiction or a contradiction or some opposite, whereas this just raises it in a more neutral way. Basing a conclusion on an assumption that is as much in need of proof or demonstration as the conclusion itself. So you're looking for evidence. Raises the question is much more neutral, I think. Yeah.
Wrapping up, last minute tweaky.
Notes all make sense?
Yeah.
People always say, oh, when you work on something, you leave a piece of yourself. In this case, it's just like, it definitely took a chunk out of me.
Wow.
I think the best thing...
Is he going to get back that chunk that it took out of him?
Could somehow do, and hopefully add some value, is make stuff where we ask relevant questions and where we can show people different perspectives.
I am the monster you created.
Well, for Vi and for Jinx, the central question is, can
Are
you...
you joking? No. I am skipping the literal meaning. I don't think they actually lost like a toe. What I mean is, obviously it can be inspiring to work on things that you are passionate about and to see people consume it and love it and resonate with it, etc. But sometimes a process of making something was so difficult or so taxing that you are left feeling creatively depleted for some time. I often couldn't play properly for a week after I came back from a Warcraft 3 tournament. I gave so much of myself. I had so much adrenaline that I felt like it did take something out of me. But it wasn't permanent. But the moment where I feel like something can take a chunk out of you and it ends up, especially looking back, feeling more permanent is where you were hurt. Not only did you creatively give of yourself, but something was so difficult or damaging that you were hurt. Then I can really resonate with it that it took a chunk out of yourself. Luckily, we don't live forever, because otherwise those chunks out of you would leave you to be hollow eventually, hollow or damaged, right? So that's why I'm wondering, like, he says you always give a chunk of yourself. Is it like that for him? Just for him? Like, does he feel like he will get it back? That's what I'm wondering about. Yeah, you'll be chunkless eventually. Yeah.
You ever forgive a monster? How far are you willing to go for your sibling? Is there a line where you just can't go for your sibling and you just have to say, sorry, but this is where I have to leave you?
I I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like with almost anyone there is a line. Some people profess the opposite, but I guess I don't believe in that.
What could have been?
Is that better?
I don't know what you just took out. If there's anything that we can achieve with Arcane past just the sheer entertainment, if there's just some good questions to ask for all of us and find our own answers, man, that's, I think, the best thing Arcane could do.
What could have been?
What's interesting is there's even a sound mix. The same level of detail went into making this documentary. The way that they transformed this part of the music, there was a kind of filter on it at the start, and then it became more and clear into the forefront. They removed some kind of obscurity filter that was on it at first that made it feel more grungy and messy, and then it started coming into clarity.
Now we're done.
It's going to be the first media product in the history of the world to launch everywhere, including China, at the same time. And we got Netflix and Amazon to actually partner because we're live streaming it on Twitch and enabling our players to restream it. Like crazy shit you'd only do at Riot ever that no one's ever done.
What? We were allowed to co-stream it?
Before.
That's crazy. So streamers watched it live, everyone watched it together. So it's kind of like Fortnite. It's a global event that involves all the players, you know? You know the Fortnite events where they like do an eclipse of the sun that was really popular with people that play Fortnite? Second season is coming, your move. Yeah, if they allow it again, I'll watch it. It had over 1 million people on Twitch watching live. Cool.
It is such a pleasure to welcome Alexi and Christian Link to the premiere stage. How many things have you spent 6 years on one project for in your life? One single thing have you spent 6 years for before?
Marriage?
There you go.
I mean, it's been pretty crazy to realize that the day's finally come. You know, we've been working on this for a long time, and it's finally here.
We certainly didn't expect anything on this caliber for the release of it, so it's very cool.
It's just, I think, really important to us that we create something that our audience can be proud of.
Shoogie.
We're
What's
putting
this?
on the suit jacket. Okay, I'm not putting on trousers though. That's where I draw the line. If I was somebody who was actually there,
What the
I
hell
would
is this?
hate being followed by a robot. That being said, as the robot, I have no problems with putting somebody into a vaguely uncomfortable situation. That is, they have to talk to an iPad that is on a stick. I am 100% interrupting something here, haven't I?
I'm somebody on YouTube.
Wait, you actually know who the fuck I am?
I'm somebody on YouTube.
I'm a huge fan of your stuff. I watch all your videos.
I'm a huge fan of your stuff, believe it or not.
I mean, the dream and the hope was always that League was the start of so much more. But, you know, fan expectations only go up, and they're high, so we hope to deliver.
I'm lucky. I've had a long association with Riot because I played Braum in League of Legends.
Wait, you're Braum?
I'm Braum.
Oh my god!
How is the strongest master?
Oh my
There it is. The responsibility of this is kind of scary because, I mean, look, it's like the anticipation from the fans, it's just, you can feel it. It's like tangible, even on the internet, you can just feel it.
My agent sent me out for it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, you know, a black kid, he's a scientist, he's super sick, you know, and then when I got in, I was like, oh, this is a lot bigger than I thought.
I know, you do remember me, I've been telling everyone.
It's Jinx.
I'm sure you've been to a lot of premieres. This is much different, right, than most?
It's a lot cooler than most, I gotta say.
Voice of Fly.
This is the production value. This is like so
Isn't she also
incredible.
I feel like
This is
I know her from other things. Like generally, I don't know like what voice actors look like.
the production value. This is like so incredible.
Well, how do you approach this challenge?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the universal themes of hating someone you love and loving someone you hate is just very relatable.
She's famous, right? Yeah.
Doing something like this, you never really know sort of what the end result is going to look like. But the team behind this is absolutely unbelievable. And from day one, I knew that I wanted to be involved. I just can't wait to see what the players and what fans think of the show. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've never been as proud of a job.
She's
Now
Gwen in
actually sounds
Spider-Verse.
anyone-
Okay, I don't know if I've seen it. Oh, her name is Haley Steinfeld playing Vi, Gwen Stacy, Hawkeye. Okay, I'm not sure I've seen any of those, but
Tonight, across the world, can turn on Netflix and watch it. That makes me really happy. It's
Victor.
a weird feeling. That makes me really happy. It's a weird feeling.
I like Victor.
Should be very special, yeah. I think I'm gonna be too afraid to really see what the reactions are.
He looks like his
I think I'm just
character,
gonna
yeah.
watch it, and then I'm just not gonna look online for as long as I can. We've poured like
Not looking
6
at
years into
critical reception from league audience.
this, you know? The idea of having to someone go, meow, this is like, I think it would just be brutal. All I can safely assume is that the league audience is gonna be unmerciful. Whichever way that goes, you know? If they love it,
he's so afraid
they will
of
probably send me baskets of food. If they hate it, they will send me baskets of shit.
and the violining.
When Christian sent me the first cut of the last 5 minutes of episode 3, I bawled. I like straight, like ugly cried. It was just, sorry, I didn't even think about it.
She is not my sister anymore.
So many people work so hard trying to do justice to people's expectations, and they're doing it because of this love, and sense of responsibility to not let players down. Just makes us incredibly proud to see, the reactions and see those things actually happening.
We'll show them. We will show them all.
Yeah. There's a glint of resolve there in her eyes.
I'm just super proud of the team. I'm super happy for Christian.
And then all the people that helped make it happen, like hundreds of people worked on it to bring it together, not to mention the thousands of writers that built the IP that we were then able to translate into this. So the feeling that we really wanted people to have is that we handled that IP with care and love.
Love you, man. Oh, dude, I'm so happy with it, bro. How do you feel?
Stressed.
I haven't looked at my phone at all today. So I'm going on the assumption that everyone hates the show and we're canceled and this is the last night of joy we're going to have in our lives.
You probably haven't seen any of the reviews or anything.
No, I haven't touched my phone and since I sat down, I don't want to see it.
You don't even want to. You're like,
You're gonna be happy though.
still watch it.
Act 1 review.
That's cool.
Netflix. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man.
Well,
Hold on a second. I thought I was PC Gamer, the global authority on PC games.
My expectations were like, it's gonna be good. But after the finale, what a fool I was. It was so brilliant.
Today we're taking a look at the new Netflix show Arcane, and I want to just start by saying it's...
Okay, what did it get on the moist meter, guys?
Slaps.
It slaps harder than I would slap a llama's ass.
Oh wow, that's lit.
I see reactions like this, and I'm thinking the chance that you overact something in order to get more actionable reactions. Is this his real face he would make when watching? Or is it because he knows he's being camera'd? I find it difficult to watch. I would never make it like this.
Oh wow, that's lit.
That felt more realistic to me, these five guys. Yeah, I hate content creators too, Iantacular.
Oh wow, that's lit.
Sorry.
This looks real.
I don't know, I'm so overwhelmed. Mainly gratitude. I'm so proud of what this team, like the excellence so exceeded my expectations, and I know very well how ridiculous this climb was. I literally said to him, I remember I said to him, if it goes down, we'll go down with the ship. I literally said, you can have my job. Like,
can we though?
Merci à Christian pour la confiance, the trust, you know, the trust of Christian in Fortiche. At the very beginning of Fortiche. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everybody. Et maintenant que la soirée commence!
Il y a beaucoup de gens qui étaient investis dessus, et je pense que ce qui a fait aussi la force et la qualité d'Arcane, c'est que tout le monde était très passionné, a toujours été très très motivé, quoi.
Je pense qu'il y avait cette idée un peu de se dépasser, de ne pas rester sur ses acquis et de prendre des risques quelque part. Et je pense que ça, c'était payant, hein, aussi.
I was at dinner recently with the directors of Fortiche, and they said they're very happy right now because when they got into this industry, they really wanted to create something to be history of the animation world. And they were smiling and they were saying, it's such a relief that after 6 years now, they feel like they know they worked on something that is part of animation history. Doesn't matter if the project is like a wild success or it's doing fine or you know, worse than that. If anything, we've crafted something that pushes the animation world forward by a significant margin.
It's nice getting above it all, huh?
The fact that we can spend 5 hours in just Piltover and Zahn,
Ooh.
and then do it again in a second season before we start to zoom out of this one little corner of the world and this handful of characters. Just the possibility space is so wild. You know, Alex made a comment to me last night. He's like, I could see myself telling stories in this universe for the next 30 years.
It's a small miracle that this TV show got made, and it's a smaller miracle that so many god-tier artists came together to work on one project, and you can't not be proud of what they did. So, yeah.
The other blessing and a curse for me and Alex is like we're never satisfied and we always want it to be better. So no matter how much you think you might know about what's coming in season 2, there's always going to be tons of new stuff to discover. I think people are going to be really excited about what they find.
The reason why I joined Riot is because I liked playing the game. I loved it. I think when Alex and I were starting to talk about making something like Arcane, we just thought that this should exist because we want to watch it.
Makes
we love
sense.
These characters.
Kick-tack.
We love these worlds. I think maybe my favorite thing above all of Arcane is that I am very confident in saying that there's many people who work on Arcane right now that feel like they're working on the most important thing of their lives, like their careers. I feel like people feel like they're challenged, they're working on something that's gonna matter, they're gonna look back to and say, yes, like that's a proud moment of my life and I'm happy I worked on it. And that to me is probably the most important thing.
I get that. I can agree with that. Not only can I agree with that, I do agree with that. Shall I make the screeching sound one more time? Nah. Let's end on a good note. Really amazing watch. Looking forward to season 2. Hope we can watch it together on stream in November 2024.